Hey everyone, welcome back to the NPC Dungeon. If you're a regular viewer, you might have noticed that I didn't post my usual flurry of DM advice, D&D story, and pixel art time-lapse last week. Reason being, I'm going to start posting one video a week instead of 3, and I'm going to be alternating between D&D stories and DM advice. Last week was a story, so today I have some DM advice all about some things that I like to consider when coming up with encounter ideas. So let's get started and let's learn something. The reason why I'm making a video about this topic now, as opposed to some other time, is because lately my style has been changing quite a bit, so I've stumbled upon some new tricks. What I used to do is, and I have a video all about this if you want to check them out, is have something for my players to do, usually a place to go, and a bunch of stuff they can do along the way. And I want to be clear, there is something wrong with this approach. Nothing at all. I'm actually running an adventure in my current campaign where the encounters are following pretty much this exact format. But what I've been trying to do more lately is focus on whatever part of the story is going on at the time, and then build from that. I find this approach to be a lot leaner and a lot more efficient. Often, instead of just having a bunch of stuff happen on the way, unless it's relevant or if I have some kind of cool idea for it, I'll just skip right to it. For example, if I'm running a mystery in a small town, all the encounters that I'm going to need are going to be in the town, and instead of my players having to go all these different places and do all these different things. And then it's up to my players to search around the town and find them, and then it's up to me to idle into the plot. And I'll try to do it in such a way where there will be just a few big encounters rather than a bunch of little tedious ones. There might be some kind of mayor, the scene of the crime, a friend of the victim, and something else. Obviously, depending on what you have planned in the background and going on for this particular encounter and adventure. And as a bonus tip here, be ready to be flexible with this. Let's say you need your players to talk to the mayor, but they don't go to the mayor's office. Maybe they go to the local inn instead. Maybe the mayor is there. Why? Pull from what you have planned. If the mayor is involved in some kind of illicit plot, maybe the players accidentally end up interrupting some secret meeting in the inn. And that's cool and everything, but I promised that I would talk about how to come up with ideas instead of just what works and what doesn't. So how much does this really help? Well, a lot actually. I often think about the structure of my encounters for inspiration. Namely, I try to give every encounter a hook. And if you're not really sure what exactly you want the encounter to be yet, thinking of a way to introduce something is a good place to start. It gives you a place to start from that you can then build off of. Let's go back to the mystery example I just gave for inspiration. Let's say you want a mystery in town, but you're not really sure what kind of mystery you want. Let's look at how you might introduce a mystery and see if that gives us anything. Well, there might be a shopkeeper that drops the fact that a lot of robberies have been going on. Maybe the players actually see a robbery happen and the criminal tries to get away. If they do, the mystery begins with the players trying to find them, if they decide to, and if not, maybe the players actually catch them. Maybe they're part of something bigger, and now it's up to the players to figure it out, again, if they choose to. Another place that I like to start with is the twist. Every good encounter should have a twist. Sometimes it'll just arise naturally, but other times it can serve as a good starting point. For example, let's say you have an idea where one NPC is impersonating another through some kind of magical means. That would be a pretty cool twist. Now, it's up to you to figure out why, how they did it, where's the other NPC, how might the players find out. And I will also say it's really important to keep in mind that your players might figure this out at a different time and in a different way than you might have planned. This does not take away from the twist or ruin the surprise. In fact, it's a good thing. The twist is still happening. It's just happening now rather than later. And it's even happening in a natural and organic way. And this goes for any twist. It's important to know what's happening with it behind the scenes and in the background so that if this happens, you're as ready as you can be. And lastly, don't be afraid to give your players opportunities to figure this twist out. Don't just hide it from them intentionally. There will always be hints and signs, and if your players stumble upon them, let them. Few things are more rewarding in D&D than this. But for more on that, feel free to check out my videos on mysteries and plot twists. I'll go ahead and leave a link and a card below if you want. And as a last note on using structure for inspiration, think about where you're at in the story. Are you in a dark moment kind of arc? Do the players just have some great victory? Or are they relaxed and having a bit of downtime? Use this and think about the kinds of encounters that would best suit your story at this particular time. If you want to shake things up, give them a lucky break or add in a twist. Think about that and think about what that means for your story. But structure isn't the only place that you might pull inspiration from. As I just hinted to, you may also pull from the overall plot of the story. Now, based on the way that I open up this video, you might be able to guess that I think this one's pretty important. Yes, I do think that most, if not all of your encounters should tie into the story, but today I'm not talking about why it's important. I'm talking about using it for inspiration. Now, there are obviously many ways you might do this. You might look at what's going on in the background. Maybe the villain has some kind of plan, and the players learn about or stumble across something being influenced by that plan. So maybe the villain is doing a lot of mining. Maybe they disrupted some monsters by accident with this process, and these monsters go and attack a village or something the players end up stumbling into. You might also pull from loose ends. Maybe an NPC ran away a while back. Maybe the party encounters them again. How? Where? What's the NPC been up to, and how is this relevant to the story? But that's just a few examples. And speaking of the players, let's not forget to pull from backstory as well. Maybe you want to introduce a new plot element, like a location or an NPC, but you're not really sure what it is or what to do with it. You might look at one of your players' backstories, notice some similarities, and then build build off from there. You might say that the NPC is the one who stabbed one of your players in the back before. Maybe the location is a place where your player sought refuge at a while back. Now it's up to you to see how this fits with the story and mold an encounter from that. And lastly, but probably most importantly, look at your player's strengths and interests. Try to put things in your encounters that your players will be interested in and will be good at. Maybe you have a player who has a climb speed. You might put a bunch of walls for them to climb up. Maybe you have a player who lives to loot. Maybe there's something kind of shiny up ahead. And use that to build obstacles that you put your players through. And as a last little note, just like you can use these tips to help you generate ideas, if you already have some, these principles can also help you guide your thinking as you build encounters up from them as well. And that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you really liked it, and comment down below if you think I missed something, have any feedback, or just want to say hi. I try to respond as often as I can. Come back next Friday while I return to a story from one of my previous campaigns to talk about how my players explore the interior of a massive dragon. And again, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. Feel free to check out two of my previous ones appearing on your screen right about now, and until next time, let's learn something.